Celebrating because CPS took my friend's kids and now we're outside every day.
How many different dads?
3 altogether, but only 2 of them are living.
I have to ask, I don't know how true this is. I know how the internet can run with things. Are you being investigated for, I guess, the murder of one?
What? Now that was a lot. What we are seeing on screen is a video of a woman dancing in a club-esque setting, and the text overlay reads, "I gave up custody of my kids to spend more weekends like this." Celebrating because CPS took my friend's kids and now we're outside every day. It appears we have a tray full of shots. And yeah, we're celebrating our friend's children being taken away by CPS. Meaning, like, at least in the first case, she just gave up custody. And who knows, maybe the dad is a better custodial figure. At least they're going with a parent. But now we're celebrating that the children are being placed into a notoriously not great of a reputation foster care system so that we can drink more. Great. No, that's gotta be the end of it, right? Oh wait, you don't know what CPS is. If you don't know, CPS is Child Protective Services. Name is kind of self-explanatory, but basically they only show up if shit has gone wrong or if someone hates you enough to try to convince them that some shit has gone wrong. But before we keep going, it finally happened. The sponsor my husband has been waiting for. We got Magic Spoon, baby! Cereal is my husband's #1 squirrel brain comfort food. He's the chef of our family, but whenever he needs something quick and satisfying, cereal will always do the trick. Meanwhile, I am the aggressive jock of the family. I am constantly working out and trying to hit my protein goals, especially training for a half marathon this year. Magic Spoon is where our worlds collide. Because it's not just a cereal. It's a high protein, no sugar, carb conscious cereal. And it manages to do all of that with that satisfying, crispy, crunchy, reinvented childhood flavor without the usual chalky stickiness of a lot of other protein-rich snacks. Every serving comes with 13 to 14 grams of protein, no grams of sugar, and 3 to 4 grams of net carbs, so you can feel good about what you're eating and hit your protein goals. It's an awesome, nutritious option for when you just don't have time in the morning to make a whole omelet, or by the evening when you're just way too exhausted to make dinner. And if you're feeling even lazier than that, you don't even have to grab the milk or dirty a dish, because Magic Spoon also sells grab-and-go protein-rich treats. These little homies have about 11 to 12 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar, and 1 to 2 grams of net carbs for some fuel on the go. My favorite flavors? I'm definitely a frosted girly on the cereal, and honestly, I would punch my sister in the face for another box of blueberry muffin treats. Sorry, girl. Go ahead and use my code Dadvocate using the link in my description box down below so you can try Magic Spoon or Magic Spoon Treats for $5 off. You can also find it on Amazon or at your local grocery store. TJ and I spotted it in the wild out at a local Meijer recently. And Magic Spoon comes with a 100% happiness guarantee, so if you don't like it for any reason, they will give you a refund on your product, no questions asked. So click the link in the description box down below, type in magicspoon.com/dadvocate, or click the QR code right here on screen so you can get Magic Spoon for $5 off. TJ and I are going to be spooning so hard. Anyway, let's get back to the video. How I celebrated Mother's Day even though I lost custody of my kids. That was quite a rapid fire. If I had to vote, though, last one is probably the least egregious because it's like, you know, we don't exactly know the reason she lost custody of her kids. Best case scenario, sometimes people lose custody just because they didn't have enough money to hire a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't actually do anything terrible. It's just that they didn't have the funding and the know-how to secure their place custodially. So maybe, best case scenario, she's just coping. But the other two, y'all are out here celebrating the loss of custody so that you can have more free time. Every parent struggles with, God, I really feel like I'm losing myself. I really feel like I don't have any time for like the simple things that bring me joy or even like adult activities, you know? There have been so many nights where TJ and I have just struggled to try to watch anything of any grown-up variety variety because the day is just filled with kids. I get it, but just hire a babysitter, right? Like, I feel like if you can afford to go out and drink at a club, you could probably afford to like scale that back a bit and maybe just like buy drinks at home and hire a babysitter to like watch the kid elsewhere. You know what I'm saying? Because that stuff adds up. I hate going out to drink because everything is ridiculous. They'll give you like this much of a shot for like $20. Ways that you can party and live your life and be a custodial parent. People do it all the time, man. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, man, this has got to be like an isolated incident, right? Like people aren't really out here like that, right? Because this guy, he makes this compilation of these clips. And like, he must have just found the 3 worst clips out there. But then I went and did some digging. This is just evidence that truly, like, it seems as though anybody can make it onto a podcast for an interview. Because I found this interview that says 27-year-old mother gave all 5 of her kids up to CPS last month. The next quote is, I had them at 16. Before we get into this, 5 kids is crazy. I'm sure some of you listening right now have 5 kids and you're like, Lauren, it's not that bad, but like, that was crazy of you. A little wild. Not wrong, but you have to admit that you're a little crazy. You know what I mean? Same with like people who like run multiple marathons. Like you're a little crazy for that. Not that it's wrong, but you're a little crazy for that. But it's like, especially if you're not married, especially if you're a single person, and especially if like these kids are all from different dads, it's kind of like one kid, all right, it's easy enough to make one kid, right? Without fully planning it. But I feel like after the 3rd, if you weren't fully prepared to be a parent, you had plenty of opportunities to have learned from that, man. Anyway, let's watch this interview.
Watch the live. It was really emotional. Giving your kids away to CPS, 5 of them.
Mm-hmm.
What are their ages?
So my twins are 2, Alex is 5, and then my oldest are 10 and 11, and yeah.
And you're how old?
27.
27, 5 children, which means you had your first child at 17?
15.
18? 15?
Well, no, pregnant at 15, had him at 16, I think.
16?
Yeah.
Or did anybody offer to help take the kids off of you and help you?
Honestly, like anybody that I knew personally didn't offer until after I became viral. Half of them actually left me on red before I became viral.
So you had reached out to people to help you with your kids.
CPS was the
Was she saying before I became viral?
So you had reached out to people to help you with your kids.
CPS was the very, very, very last step. Like I even like reached out to the dads. I even had the cops reach out to the dads 30 minutes prior to walking. Well, not both of them, but just the one. And he didn't want them either. But he's trying to get them now because of the controversy.
How many different dads?
3 altogether, but only 2 of them are living.
I have to ask, I don't know how true this is. I know how the internet can run with things. Are you being investigated for, I guess, the murder of one?
What? Now that was a lot. Okay, so this is apparently a woman who goes by Lamborghini Lex, who apparently either is viral or trying to become viral and is able to manage social media just fine, but not 5 kids from 3 different fathers on her own at the age of 27 just fine. One of the fathers is no longer alive, and the interview abruptly cuts off with the suggestion that he may no longer be alive because of her? Now, who is this Lamborghini Lex lady after all? Have any of you ever heard of her or this situation? Okay, so she's not showing up on TikTok. Is she like an Instagram lady? Let me see if I can find her on there. This is just wild to me. I don't even know how to react to that one. just, I mean, and shame on the fathers too, being given the opportunity to get access to their children and prevent them from going into the foster care system, and then only changing their minds once the entire situation gained virality. That is such an absolute shame that 5 entire children came into the world without either of their biological parents willing to claim them, and that one of them may have been murdered by the other one, which I'm not unwilling to believe, because we just did an entire video about the woman who killed, or at least tried to kill, all of her children's baby daddies, failed at killing one, and only managed to kill his innocent girlfriend who had nothing to do with it. Feel free to watch that one if you like getting extremely depressed. But wow, this is just wild to me. I want to read the comments on this one and see what people have to say. I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot of sympathy toward the mother still. Imagine how these kids feel. Well, at least she tried to reach out to someone and didn't kill them. And they say the bar is in hell for men. A man will be like, well, I got you flowers and a card for Mother's Day. And they'll be like, oh my God, the bar is in hell. That's the bare minimum. But then a mother will be like, I gave up all of my children to CPS and may have killed one of their dads. And they're like, well, at least you didn't kill the kids. I think the bar is not only in hell for men. I think we could stand to raise our standards a little bit here. As a former foster kid, it's heartbreaking that they are probably all separated into different homes, confused and feel like mom will come any day. So she gets an interview. Right, exactly. That's what I'm so curious about. Is this podcast is called Unwine with Tasha K. I would be curious to watch the full interview at this point, but at what point do I want to like continue giving the attention to